All right, everyone. We are here with Angela. Should I say it in French accent? I don't really have
Feel
one.
free,
You
please.
say it in French. You say it in French.
Zimele.
Yes, Angela Zimmerle
Zimmerle.
from Canada. From Canada, but Angela is joining me from France today. Her son is happily playing on his iPad so that we can get this in. Yeah, and we're doing a live website review. So Angela, tell everyone about yourself, a little bit about your business before we actually bring up the website and start doing this thing.
So I help families learn how to live a more natural life, reducing their chemical toxicity, trying to reduce single plastic use, and implement strategies that are safe and natural in the home and great for the whole entire family. And a lot of the tools I use are obviously essential oils from when you're going to see the website come up and stuff.
Yeah, so you do have a doTERRA business.
I do.
And that's a big part. Do you have any other ways of people working with you or collecting income, or is it just doTERRA right now?
So I had other income stream, which was labels and ebooks. But when I was going through the challenges of compliance, I was told I'm not allowed to have any third party. So I had to take my shop, my labels, and my
Which
ebooks
is so
down.
sad because other people sell like
I like to follow the rules.
You know what? Rules are good. They're there for a reason.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate because actually with my ebooks, because I had driven a lot through Pinterest, I think I had like 3,000 sales alone just on ebooks, and then my labels were not as successful, but my labels were getting hit. So yeah, it was a sad thing for me to take down. But again, I don't want to be a rule breaker. Like I really want to be in the box. So
okay. All right.
Once upon a time, yes, but right now, no.
Okay. All right. And do you have any plans for anything else? Just so I know like where we're going. And like we were talking about before we went live here recording, that we really, and my whole thing is like, you don't just put up a pretty website for the sake of putting up a website. Like you want there to be a target or a focus at the end that ideally is you making more money. So
which I'm learning right now.
Yeah, right.
Trying to figure it out.
So in the future, what do you see your business as?
I would love to have a course in the future, but I really need to spend time to craft, define, and market the message that I do have right now. So I know I need to, one, I don't know social media. I really just am on social media to be on social media. It was just a platform for me to connect with people since I'm living abroad. That's truly, I've only ever used social media for selfish personal reasons. And so now I'm trying to utilize hashtags, and I'm trying to utilize Pinterest and drive things to my site. And with that, I'm learning that my content needs to be recreated and I need more photos. And so it's
like opening a can of worms, right? Like
I open the can of worms
thing, and then but then I need to do this thing and this thing and that.
I opened the can of worms, and what I realized is I could spend probably 12 hours a day just trying to recraft what I already have in place. And so right now, I need to get back to income building activities, but I'm so trying to dial into my website and trying to dial into traffic or platforms that are going to drive my traffic. So
Okay. Lots of stuff. We got lots of stuff to
we got
talk
lots of
about.
Stuff.
Okay.
We got lots of stuff.
So let me share my screen, which is Angela's website. So we're at whohappiness.com, and I know this is on Squarespace.
This is on Squarespace, yes.
What
I use Squarespace because of you, actually. So
yay! What theme do you use? Do you know?
I have Brine. I'm using a free theme. So everything that you see here is me just doing everything by myself.
All right.
No code, zero code.
And you don't need the code. You honestly don't. So
I'm going to, this homepage that you're seeing right now, it's the next thing on my list to get, I guess not rebranded, but redone, completely redone.
Okay. And that's where this is really good that we're talking about this as well, is because that's where I wanted to ask those questions. And I also wanted to know what theme you were on so that I could know what like is available within the features of that theme. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that I want to look at is the navigation bar.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff on here. And when we get, like, we like to treat people on a website like we treat our toddlers, where if we ask them, what snack do you want? They're like, they sit there and they can't
too many
decide.
options.
But if you're like, do you want this snack or this snack? Then they can decide. And I mean, they always tell you something that's not one of the options, but at least it like made them choose. So
this is actually, so you're telling me this now, and this has been something I relook at almost every time I open up my site, and I move and drag something, and so this will be wonderful. So give it to me. So
I have ideas. So number one, we don't want to work so hard to get people to your website, and then one of the first things at the top of the website is you ask them to click away from the website.
Okay.
Like with having social media. So what I would actually like to see, and what I love, and you've done a lot of work in, is you have a French version of your freaking site and a Dutch version of your site.
So, yeah, I can't take credit for the Dutch version.
I was going to say, I didn't know you spoke Dutch. I knew you spoke
I definitely do not speak Dutch, so I have an amazing friend here who is German, and her first language is German, and she has built all of that. And she's
I should know. This is how like dumb I am, is I'm like, it's Dutch, and you're like, no, this is German.
It's German, right? But in German it's called Dutch. So
okay.
So when a German person comes to the site, they know that's where they go. But
that makes sense. Well, that's why it's called Deutschland.
Yeah, Deutschland. Yeah,
Deutschland. Okay. So what I would like to see, and now the one thing that I'm not sure, I think we can do it, is with a folder, is because these are folders within.
These are folders, yes.
So what I'm thinking is, because you want to really draw attention to the fact that because you are living in France, so I mean, you are going to have specifically people that come there that are local or local-ish that need it to be in French. Let's draw attention to that by moving this to the secondary navigation, which can bring it up here as a button on your website.
Okay, so it's funny that you talk about a secondary navigation, because I could never figure that.
You're like, what the hell is that? What it is, for instance, I'm just going to bring up my OG, because this is my only one, actually my own here. Let me bring up my own damn website, because that one now has a button on the navigation now that I added my website template. So what this is right here.
Wait, I have to move our faces.
Oh, you have to move our faces. Okay. So this right here, and actually, no, I'm good. This is my regular navigation bar. So I'm also using the Brine template. So it's funny that like this is Brine template and this is Brine template. It shows you like with Squarespace, you can literally make anything within these templates, and you can make them look so different. So the way that I have my settings in the design settings is I have my logo, just happens to be in the top left corner. You've chosen to have yours in the center. You've added in, and I like the search bar being up here, especially if you have a really content heavy site. I like there being the opportunity for people to search, and it's really clear to do that.
Yes. Something that drives me crazy is when I get to a site and I can't find the search bar.
Yeah.
It's so my biggest pet peeve.
And I think that's really user friendly. So what you have is in the design settings for the site, you have the option of putting in, like, I don't even know where in what setting you put this social bar up here, because I think this is the social links block is what I think it is, but you can't insert a block in a navigation bar. So I don't even know how you did this, but it's somewhere in the design settings. So what you can do is you can hide this.
Okay.
And everything here is already in your primary navigation. So on the left-hand side in Squarespace, you have primary navigation, and then under that you have secondary navigation, and then you have unlinked pages at the bottom.
I do, yeah.
So all that you do is you drag the French folder to the secondary navigation, and you drag the German one down to the secondary navigation. When you go into your design settings,
it's going to look like a language.
It's going to give you the option to make it a button if you want to.
Got it.
So what you can do is, because it's going to then be a color that you can choose from your brand colors, it's going to draw attention to those two buttons and the fact that you have different languages. I think that's a really good option for you. Now, for other people, I would say, and for me, you can see that I've drawn attention to my shop, because like for me, I'm like, pay me, go to the shop. But for you, I think it's an option because I looked at your shop, and your shop one is really just a, not really just, but it's this is how you sign up for essential oils. So it's not really a true shop where people can really, like, if you were to have still had your ebooks up, I would say absolutely move the shop to your, up here and make it a button, because that's awesome to be able to do that. Is your son there?
So, I'm sorry, what's the question? Oh, yeah. No, my naked husband's going in.
Oh!
Let's turn the computer.
Well, hi, naked French
she wants to
husband.
see.
Hello.
She says hello.
Bonjour. Comment ça va? Assiette? Un petit peu.
Your French is good.
Not really, but I want to speak French. I do. I'm a Francophile.
It's
I do
very challenging.
I just read Julia Child's My Life in France, and now I'm like, want to go to France again.
Oh, you should come. You should come. When
I
we have a
will.
new house, you can come.
I'll call you up and I'll be like, hey, I'm coming to visit for like a month. Yeah,
I love
you have a separate pied-à-terre for me, because that's
no problem.
Okay, awesome.
Man, you'll never leave.
I know this is maybe why I haven't actually gone, because I just won't come back. But
yeah, this is a major sidetrack, but you would love it here. Everything, the culture, the food, the weather. It's 26.
It's snowing here today. I'm looking out my window right in front of me, and it is snowing.
I have tan lines right now. I'm telling you.
Just don't even.
Okay.
So yeah,
changing to buttons.
Yeah, move these up here, and once you move them into that secondary navigation area, then you go into your design settings, and it will have different settings because you've moved it in there. So that's what I would do there. Now with the other ones, what I would really do is because I've looked to see what other content is here. So you have education, which is
I can move all that under essential oils.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was going to move it under the essential oils.
And monthly, I can move over too.
Yeah. Now we could decide once you move over education, shop, which I would change the word shop to buy essential oils.
Okay.
Because the shop indicates that there are like lots of different products, which there are.
So before I had labels, ebooks. I had partners, a partners page.
Yep.
I had other stuff under there. So yes, that is exactly what I should be doing.
Yeah. Just change that to say join doTERRA or buy essential oils. And then that way it's going to be very clear that when they click on that, it's not like a shop. Because when it says shop, it indicates, our son's the same age. Alex is 7. They have to be about the same age. Yeah. So I get it.
In a video and you can't come and say
hi. I locked the door over there and I told, hi. Aw.
I can't lock the door. If I had that privilege, I'm sure I would be doing it with wine.
It's all good. It's all good.
May I please have some more time? You have to go with Daddy. It's Ashley. I told you I was doing my website stuff today. Okay, thank you.
I know. It's very hard not to have the mommy time. I know. Alex only comes in when I'm on video calls. He ignores me the rest of the time.
It's hilarious because this kid could sit on his iPad for 2 hours and say not a single word to me. And the second.
Yep. No, Alex we have the same child.
Yeah.
You are me just living in France.
It's true.
Well, we'll just switch lives. Like, that movie, whatever it is. I forget.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
Okay. So
great.
Rename this.
Yeah.
Move it under essential oils. Move education under essential oils, because that really is, that might be for members. I'm assuming if it's like oil school and learning library, there might be things there that are just member bonuses. So we can move that under there. Like there's just to kind of clean this up at the top. But I think that connect.
I can also, I was thinking about just completely removing that and putting something in the footer.
Okay.
And then
for the
linking it to the page.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Connect is just if someone, my email is up there. I can completely delete it. It's just a form they fill out if they want to.
Yeah, I would keep that there. I would keep that connect. I would keep essential oils, the blog, about, and home.
Okay.
That's what we need. And then these 2 buttons are moving up here, and we're getting rid of this.
Perfect.
So perfect. Okay.
Love it.
Okay. So welcome to Who Happiness, Living Life Naturally. I'd like that to be a headline indicating something about them. So the way that we build a website that can convert on its own is to make it about the people who are coming to the website. So not that this is being like selfish right here and you're like making it about yourself, but subconsciously people are coming there, and if they don't see something that pertains to them in the like top part of the website, they're going to be like, why do I need to keep reading?
So, okay, may I please have an example?
Yeah, so this should say, I love how you're like, I could tell you talk about that with your son. May I please? I'm like, oh, you're please, so polite.
Please.
I'm just like, Alex,
give me a damn example.
Yeah. So this would be something like, want to learn more about natural health? You're in the right place. Or looking to take chemicals out of your life? I'm the girl for you. Or like something where that gives them some idea of what content the website's going to include.
Okay, great.
Makes sense? And then
right in the photo. So you're talking like a photo.
Right in the photo. So right where this header is, you just change this header out to whatever that other headline is. So okay, like great. Right here on the top of mine, tired of not making a full-time income in your health and wellness business. If someone comes to my website and sees that, and they either A, don't have a health and wellness business, or they're like looking for health information and they're like, why is she talking about a full-time income? They're like, this isn't for me, click away. Okay, that's what we want people to do at the very top. And in every section of your website is we want them to make a decision. Yes or no, is this for me?
Okay.
So that's what you're doing when you give them that information right there, is like, this is what you're here to learn. Yes or no, is this for you? I'd rather have you click away quickly and realize this isn't for you than to like waste my time and like, not waste my time, but you know what I mean? Like send me a million questions and then I realize like, I'm not the right person to support you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So then the next section, I'd actually like there to be a little like written section between these two that are like, I help, like what you said at the first sentence of the call, like, who do you help?
Okay.
And you're now working on really narrowing that in and defining that and putting words to that. So I want to see you put that right here. I help, women get rid of toxins in their life and support their family to live naturally. Looking for more information. And you actually have to, again, we talked about how you learned recently that you need to have a call to action. Like you need to actually put those words, even though you think it's fairly obvious. Okay, they just go and they like click one of these options. But you actually have to click one of the options below to learn more. Okay. You actually have to write that in there. So then they're like, oh, okay, I can click on these because I know they're clickable because I use Squarespace. You know they're clickable because you designed it. They don't know that this is clickable and it's going to take them somewhere. They're just like, okay, she has these things on her website. It's like, no, click it. And then you're going to see all my awesome content.
Okay. Can I ask you a side question?
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, when I'm talking about who my ideal client is, who my ideal customer is, I think to myself, I want it to be a mom who's around the same age as me or a little bit younger than me. Yep. But if I put that as like I am, and he always scares me. Close the door, please, and thank you. But if I told you. Are you sure you don't want to edit this video?
No, this isn't. I'm surprised. So my son's dressed like a dinosaur today, in a dinosaur pajama onesie, and I'm surprised he's not in here like naked or something. Like
you missed Spider-Man yesterday.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Like come on, it's fine. This is FYI, guys. This is being filmed during COVID-19. So families 24/7, and there's nowhere to go. That's why all of our families are home.
I put wine in my water bottle today.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah. But okay, so let's say I put I help moms reduce their chemical toxicity in their home and in their body. Okay. Is it bad that I'm specifically saying moms, and then so let's say a man or dad comes to my website and sees that?
No,
like I was always told we're supposed to be gender neutral, which is why I did.
Unless that's very important to you. Because here's the thing. We can strive for being gender neutral, but we all know that most men are not interested in that. Mm-hmm. So all that we're doing when we try to be gender inclusive, now this is again my perspective, this might not be very politically correct, or maybe I'm not using the right pronouns, or I'm putting a label on it. But I'm sorry, people need to be able to know that the content is for them. So when you make it really general, we think people are going to be able to put themselves in that situation and go, this is for me. But if you don't actually say, this is for moms, like for instance, my website, pink everything. It's very clear that my website is for women. Do I still have men, a few men buy my stuff? Yes. because they're able to go, it's fine. I don't care that it's pink. I don't care that it says woman and there's woman examples all over. Ashley knows what she's talking about, so I'm still going to buy from her. But do I specifically market towards women? Yes, because most women there's a lot of women holistic practitioners and doTERRA wellness advocates. That's who is my target audience. So with you being able to say, it doesn't mean you can't, like, that you're going to help moms specifically. It doesn't mean that you are not capable of helping other people. It just means that your marketing is going to speak to moms.
Okay.
So that they know that they're in the right place. And I'd actually, if you say I help moms lower their toxic load or toxicity, I want you to take that a step further. And because you know what that means. You know what toxic load is. Some of these women don't know what toxic load is. And they're like, what the hell is she talking about? So you also need to put it in language that they understand. It would be even more amazing to take it a step further and not even mention toxic load or reducing chemicals, but why are they wanting to reduce that? Is it because you want to help women with hormone imbalance?
No.
Is it because, okay, so why is it that you love helping people reduce chemicals and toxic load in their life? Why?
Okay, so have you ever seen the movie? Okay, now it's not going to come to my head because I'm challenged right now.
Is it the stink one, the fragrance one?
No, it's the one with okay, they talk all about the human experiment, the human health experiment.
No, I haven't seen that. No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, okay, it scared the living crap out of me, and thank God I already had oils in my house, but they talk about bleach on the floor. And so my whole thing is, I look at my baby, I look at my kid, he's not a baby anymore, but I look at my kid and I think of all the things I did before that didn't protect him and wasn't safe in our house that I didn't know. And so what I really want to do is teach moms how to keep their surfaces, their home, their products safe so that they're not unintentionally hurting their babies.
Okay. And when you say hurting, what are the actual things that are going to happen to their babies as a result of being exposed to those chemicals?
Okay, so here's the thing. I can't say for 100%, but there's scientific links and everything that it's the cause of asthma, it's the cause of skin challenges, it's the cause of tumors and underdeveloping. It's like, it's a million things. It's scary.
Oh, I know. It's scary, right? And I'm asking you so that you can actually put, again, words to this. So it's not that you are, so essentially what you're doing is you are, I don't want to use the word helping women protect their families. That's ultimately what you're doing, is trying to create this safe environment. So maybe that's the wording to use, is I help women create safe and non-toxic homes for their families so that they can thrive.
Yes.
That's
exactly what I do.
This is going to be a recording, so you can just play this back and actually write it down. But
I had my notebook and my pen, and I was like, I can't waste time with that. I can't waste time with that.
Yeah. So do you see how you took that from I help women? You took it from the vehicle of I help them reduce toxic load. That's just the vehicle. But what is the destination? The destination is them creating the safe and healthy and non-toxic home.
Perfect.
That's what it is. So it's kind of like when I heard this explained in marketing before, and it made so much sense. So if you're trying to explain a program, you're trying to sell a program or a product, everyone wants to explain the vehicle to get there. So let's say you are going on a vacation to Hawaii. The travel agent doesn't sit there and go, oh my God, okay, you're going to Hawaii. You're going on a Boeing 737 and it is white and it has 400 seats and it's in 3 rows and you're going to be in the middle row, but I'm giving you an aisle seat. How amazing is that? You're going to have an aisle seat and it's not going to be close to the bathroom. No, the travel agent is like, you're going to Hawaii and there are beautiful white sand beaches and it's 80 degrees every day and it isn't going to rain in the season that you're going in. There's waves and you're going to swim with the turtles. They're explaining the destination, not the way that you got there. Because no one cares about how you get there. They want the result at the end of it. Right? So that's what you have to think. You have to explain the result, not the destination. So,
and that is actually how I'm trying to redefine my post, because I already write to someone who is using oils that understands, and I'm not explaining the importance of why you should be using green cleaners, which is
Yeah,
what
so
I'm.
we'll talk about that in a minute with buckets of content. So I'll explain
Okay.
that in a minute. There's actually two different ways and two different buckets and two different levels of education you need to provide before people are ready to invest. So we'll get there in a minute when we talk about blog content. But so we're going to put a little intro in here. I think these are all great. I love the colors. I think it's very clear. I like that there's a little about section. I love that. So again, just right here, number one, I love hearing like that you're a Canadian citizen living in Alsace, France. That's awesome, because I think that's really important that they understand like where you live in the world. People want to know that. But where you say things like, it is truly an honor and a pleasure to have you visiting my online home. I know you get that, but again, what's in it for them in that sentence?
Okay.
So again, repeat or take your reason of why you put all this time and energy and effort into creating this website and put that into a sentence of, I have worked so hard on my little cozy online home so that I can teach, so that you can get this result, so that you can learn, so that you can, yeah, always about them. Even your about page, we'll get to that in a minute. Your about page is actually not about you. It's about them.
Oh,
it's a weird way of thinking about it, but because they are interested in thinking about you and knowing you, because they need to know, like, and trust you before they'll purchase from you. But at the end of the day, everyone's just worried about themselves, and everyone is so starved for time that there needs to be a reason, either entertainment or education, of why they're reading and spending the time reading what they're reading on your website. So yeah, it needs to like remind, yeah, we'll get there in a minute. So yeah, I love hearing your story, and we're going to put that on your about page, but that doesn't need to be right here on your home page, because this needs to, the whole point right here is that we want this to be like, give them a reason to want to go to your about page here and learn more. So it needs to be for them to be interested in learning that. I mean, I would be interested in learning why you live in France and how you met your husband and everything. But most people aren't, like, I don't think most people, like, people are interested in that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not why they're on your website. They're on your website because they clicked over from something that made them want to learn more about natural health and all that sort of stuff. So that's what you're going to make this about right here.
Okay.
I love that there's an email subscription. Now, FYI, you are on the Brine template. You can make this full width image if you want, like full width background. So this is called a banner.
Yeah.
So right now I think you have this, I'm wondering if this is inserted as an image block instead of as the banner. So the banner,
I wish I could pull up my thing.
I'm logging in right here because my website or my internet's a little bit better than yours. So when you are looking at a section like this, here's the image block. So when you want to edit that image block that you have in there right now, you're actually clicking on, like, this is the section name, you're clicking on edit.
Right.
But if you want to change the background banner, you click on banner. And that's where you have this background that you can layer in. So right here, this banner image would be the image of you. Oh, is that? Yeah, you can see it's really faint because it's actually a white background with this gray writing. I can't really.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Can't really zoom in. See, and it's got the pink bottom. Oh God. Advanced. Oh God, where did I go? Banner. I zoomed in too much. See how it's pink on the bottom and there is writing there? You just can't see it because it looks white.
Yeah, okay.
This is actually an image. I can go show you on one of the, like this one right here.
So
the
pink is actually a banner.
The pink is a banner. So this is an image. This is actually a gallery. This is a text block, but we're not editing the actual section itself. We're clicking on banner, and I've just inserted this pink banner behind it. That's how we're layering. That's how we're layering content. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you get that really rich looking, like, layered content look in here. So I'd actually like to see you make this a full width banner. Keep these as images because we need them to be clickable, right? Because they're clicking to the each things. And then this one right here, this section where you have your email subscription, make this a full width banner, just background of that blue color, so that it just delineates it and it makes it look like its own little full width section. So it would be very much like down here where there is like this one right here, where it looks like a full width and it looks like a different section. All that does is it's a design trick to get people to look like they're not reading as much.
Okay.
That's all that design does. That's the whole point of design on a website, is to get people to consume the content without thinking they're consuming that much content.
Okay, great.
Because otherwise they look at a whole bunch of writing and they're just like, oh my God, this is too much. I can't read this. I don't have time for this right now.
How did you add an image into your email subscription though?
Right where?
Go up,
Here?
go up.
Yep.
Right there. How did you add that?
So this is, I use a program called ConvertKit. So I had to insert this with a code box.
Okay.
So what you do with you is once you make this as its own section, because have you designed this, the reason why you might be able not be able to do that on the homepage is you might have made this a page.
I did make it a page.
What you need to do is you need to make it an index. So let me just zoom out here. So in Squarespace, in the Brine template, you have the option of creating a page. So when you click on, I'm gonna go down to my not like section. When you go down to a section and you insert content, you generally, right here, it says create new page. And you're like, I'm gonna create a blank page. Like I want a page that I can insert all this content into, right? Don't create pages, create an index. So what an index does is it acts like a folder. So for here, this whole thing right here is my homepage. Each one of these is this separate section that can have its own background banner. This is probably like blowing.
Yeah, but right here you have a home header and that looks like it's a new page.
It is a page within an index. So when you have an index down here, let me show you. I'm in the not like section. I'm going to insert an index. This is almost just like, it's almost just like a folder, but it's actually a folder that is like a page folder. If that makes sense. Because I know you use, so we're going to call this test.
Okay.
And then it says empty index. So within the index folder, you need to then insert content pages. So then you can insert a blank page or you can insert a gallery. So when you insert a blank page, you can insert as many blank pages as you want, and that's going to create different sections within that page. So when I click on the page itself, you'll see that there are, I'm just going to rename this section 1, and I'm going to rename this section 2. And then you'll see that within the page, you can go in and have different sections with their own background.
Shit.
And within that, so you put a banner in, so you have a nice background color or image. And then when you click on edit, you can add in all your different code blocks as normal, your text block, your buttons.
My shit. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's the advantage of using the Brine template on Squarespace. That it has the option.
I'm going to be editing my website.
Now you're just like, holy crap, I need
to redesign everything.
Yeah. So that's how you get those full bleed. And that's what really helps to delineate those sections. That's where you'll see on my website where I have a lot of, just for adding that ease of readability, I have them in sections. So like one section is one focus. So that
means you can duplicate stuff.
Yes.
Because that's my biggest challenge is I create something and like at the end of a blog post, I have something I've created and then I'm like, shit, I can't copy this. I can't replicate it. I have to rebuild the entire thing.
So in this, you can't duplicate an entire index page itself. You can duplicate individual sections within an index page. So if you wanted to make a copy of this entire page, you actually have to like click on here and duplicate that section and then click on here and duplicate that section. Yeah. They're annoying, but that's where it's really
better than nothing. It's better than rebuilding everything all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that'll provide you some more design. And so what I do is I treat each section as its own call to action. Here's the opt-in section. Then I have my choose your adventure. So this is where you see, how can I help you? This is what I do. This is what my mission is. Then I have, this is a gallery that just gives them different options. So instead of me having images set out like you do, I just have a rotating gallery that says you can click here and go to the blog, or you can take my quiz, or you can go to watch my free masterclass. Next section is my call out like you have to go read my about page. It just looks a little bit different because I have a background banner, right? Then I go down here, here's a little testimonial section.
So sorry, right here, can you go up a little bit more?
Yep.
Right here, this background page, then you designed your whole entire background image. You inserted it as a banner, and then you added an image.
This is the banner. The banner is just this pink with the writing on it, right here, the white writing. That's this image behind it. This is inserted as an image, and the style of it, because you can pick 6 different styles of images. It's a card.
You created the card to make it look, okay, got it.
Yeah, so then the cards are set up where you can have the image on the left and this white, and I set in my settings that I want it to be a white background. This background color can be whatever color you set it as. And you can also switch it in those settings and have the image on the right and the white card background be on the left. And you can choose whether you want a button or not. And you can set those
Okay, so
settings.
then you designed your whole entire image to be you, the squares, the hey there, and the black
The
things.
actual image is just this right here.
Yeah. Okay,
that's the image
it.
that I inserted. And then the card is where I inserted this over
got
here.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can do that on your about page right down here as well. So this is the picture of you, and then you could have an entire different background color here that's maybe a light blue color, and then you have a white background with the card with the writing in it.
I love it. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
But I do like the email subscription call out on there. And I do like including an Instagram bar on the bottom. I always like doing that. I don't always like to work so hard to get people to my website and then you go, okay, go over, follow me on Instagram. But I do like putting it,
okay, so
you're going to put it anywhere, put it on the bottom.
The reason I do that is because the people I follow the most are on Instagram. And my second biggest pet peeve is when I go to their site and I can't figure out where their social media channels are. Yeah. And so because I use Instagram the most, I put Instagram there because that's where I...
Yes, absolutely. And I think most of our ideal clients for doTERRA as well, a lot of them are searching on Instagram and they're searching for specific things on Pinterest. Yeah. Or finding us via Google. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just starting Pinterest right now, which might be something I change over, but I'm not sure yet how that's going to go. But yeah, it's because I'm like, I follow, because I think the grid and seeing the layout of how people's pictures are is a fast way to figure out whether you want to follow someone. And so, yeah, those are reasons I have those set up because I really hate.
Yep. And I have that too. I have that. I actually have mine at the very, very bottom down here.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your homepage. So I think like you're definitely on the right track, just a few tweaks and showing you what the brine template is actually able to do. Right.
I'm so pumped. I learned this before I redid my homepage. I was like, oh,
absolutely. So
the universe loves me.
The same thing on your about page is your about page is instead of it being a whole white page, like when I look at that, if you're like, I like reading, I actually do read books. So this does not scare me, but if you're the average person, they're not coming to a website they're just like, oh my God, that's so much writing. But if you take the same amount of writing and you split it, like my about page has a ton of copy on it, but because it's split into sections, because there's different sizes, because you're breaking it up with images, that's what increases the readability. So that's what we use design for, is to get people to be still interested in reading. Like that's how design and copy work together, is you're using the design to keep it interesting, to make them feel like they're reading less than they actually are. That's what design does. So in here, again, about page needs to be about them while still being about you. It's this like real special trick. So I'm going to walk you through, and I don't want to like just keep using my website as an example, but this is the same copy template I give in my course. This is the reason why I have my students write this. It's also the same website copy template that's on my website template. So the OG one, like the copy templates are included. So you'll see here, okay, yes, clearly they need to know this is an about page. So like, hi, I'm Ashley, like same thing as you. I want it to still say like, well, first of all, put like not a little bit about me and highlight. It should say, hi, I'm Angela in the big letters, because that's what they're going to see first. So hi, I'm Angela, or even on the picture itself, just like your homepage where it's in like the nice little writing. So hi, I'm Angela. That goes up there. And then right away, this is who I help. So right away, I'm trying to get them to understand and to make a decision. Do you want to keep reading this page or not? Is this going to be helpful for you? So I just say it in a slightly different way than I say it on my homepage. So if they're like, okay, great. And then I just put in this, yes, it's possible, because they read that, and anyone who isn't earning a full-time income in their health and wellness business is like, bullshit, I can't do that. And I'm like, no, right away, I'm giving them a glimmer of hope. Yes, it's possible. Okay. So you can do that. Next thing is what we're doing with an about page is we're trying to attract the people who we want to work with. And to do that, we need to, and this is based off of Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, is there's a reason why you don't see Apple marketing their computers as look at this new iPhone. It has 64 gigabytes in its hard drive. Its phone is 12 megapixels. You're just like, I don't fucking give a shit. But what they do sell you is they're like, ooh, look at this sexy image of this person doing interesting things with the phone. Don't they live this like rebel lifestyle and they're all creative? And you're like, I want to be creative like them. They're selling you on their values. They're selling you a phone as the vehicle, but they're actually marketing to you with the result. The result is creativity. The vehicle is using their phone.
Right.
So what you're putting in here in your about page is your beliefs and your values, because
like, I believe living naturally should be easy. I believe having the tools in your home should be inexpensive. I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. All that stuff. So that's what you're putting in the next section right underneath, like who you help. So right away, it's going to be, hi, I'm Angela. I help. And you're not going to, I mean, you could repeat it exactly the same thing that we said on your homepage, but just try to like rephrase it and just say the same thing, just with different words so that they don't feel like they're reading exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you go down here, you say, I believe, I believe, I believe. And then you get to the point where there's objections or where they want to end up. So here's the thing is what you're doing here is you're helping them to create trust in you, that you are not, that you understand them, because all that people want to feel when they go to your website is that they feel understood. It's like where Maya Angelou said, like, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Yeah. So right underneath the I believe, I believe, I believe, if they believe what I believe, they're still reading. So I'm starting to attract a very specific type of person, right? The next section they get to is, and I called this, I call it objections. So they believe that. They're like, oh yeah, I believe that too. I believe that too. But then they go, but I don't have the time, but I don't have the money, but I don't have, their brain starts going, but I can't have that because da-da-da-da-da-da. You're actually going to write that down right here. And because you know your ideal client so well, you're going to know what her objections are. She's going to say, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. Feels really hard.
It's too hard, too much to learn. I don't have the finances. Mm-hmm. And I don't have time because I have a kid, I have a family, I have a job. Okay.
So you're going to put that in these sections so that they're just like, and then they go, she already knows what I'm going to say. This girl understands me. This girl knows me. So you're starting to create trust in that they can see themselves in this page that you're writing. Okay. And the reason why you're putting this is, for most health practitioners, is because you are that person. Just a year ago, 6 months ago, right now, 5 years ago, you were there and you felt all those same things. So it is actually about you and about your journey, but it's also their same journey.
Got it.
Okay. Then the next section, so you have objections, and then you put in your beliefs, very specific, like we actually name them. Like in my course, I'm like, hey, what are your 3 to 5 values? And you list them out of like all these different, some people are like, I value, going out and drinking and getting drunk all the time, or some people value staying in and reading a book, right? Like it just depends on who you are and who you're working with and who you see as that ideal person that you're working with, right?
I now understand why your number one thing is transparency.
Yeah. Because it is my top value. This is why
I get it.
Talk so much and like I never shut up, and people are just like, why does she need to share the entire story? I'm like, because I just do. And all the people that I speak with and that I work with, they're the same people that are like, oh yeah, I sit here and like they are transparent as well. And they appreciate that about me. Anyone who doesn't is just gonna be like, I don't like this girl. Anyways, so then you actually get to you, about you. So this is the next section after you've made it all about them, after you've had like 2/3 of your about page is actually not about you. Then you get to this point and we share this a little bit more about me, about you specifically, because now they need to know that you're the expert and you're going to be the one that knows enough to get them where they want to go.
So this is where I would be like saying that I've been using essential oils in my home for 5 years. I've been studying about essential oils for 7 years.
Yep.
Okay.
You've watched, if you have any certifications, you put that here. If you've helped X number of customers, you put that here. If you have a personal story of because some people come to using essential oils because their child actually had eczema, or they went through their own health crisis, and essential oils was actually what helped them get through that health crisis. This is where you share that story.
Okay.
So that they know you've walked the walk, they know why you're the expert, and they're starting to understand that not only is there a glimmer of hope because you've already kind of addressed their objections, but they're now starting to understand that there is a solution and you are part of that solution.
Okay.
So this kind of goes into this blog and these buckets we're going to talk about in a minute. So you go there. I share a little bit different because I've got a long story, and again, I'm an oversharer. So like I just talk way too much, but generally this is going to be a couple of sections here where you go a little bit more into, like, this might be where you share moving to France, or, you're very transparent as well on your blog of, your marriage and stuff like that. So depending on what you want to share there of what your personal journey has been to get to where you are now, where you feel the need to lead other people, that's where you share this here. Okay. And then at the very bottom, you conclude it and you kind of bring in some of your beliefs, like
hook, line, and sinker.
This is where this is why I put these things. And like, this is where this line, if I can do this, so can you, that can be applied to literally any business in any niche or industry. You can put that there as well. If I can do this and learn how to use natural solutions, so can you. I'm just, a woman living in France that had to learn a whole new culture and still, like whatever. And then again, we're kind of reiterating our beliefs as above. We're just, again, saying them in a different way. And then we're asking them
call to action.
So for me, it's here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Pick your path. What do you want to do?
Pick your path. Yeah. Okay.
What do you want to do? That's an about page that is really going to be a lot more effective than, and this is all, like, it is interesting. It absolutely is. This is the stuff to put in a blog post. This is actually stuff more to put in an Instagram post, actually, because even a blog, if you're looking at it as I want it to be found on Pinterest or Google or whatever, it needs to be actually like search engine optimized and all that sort of crap. But this is really good stuff for Instagram posts. Like, don't throw this out. Be like, 20 things you didn't know about me. My online diary, again, like, I love reading your posts because, again, clearly transparency is something that you live and I live as well. So that's our shared value. And so I appreciate reading about other people's vulnerabilities and transparencies. But again, that's not necessarily going to get them to like buy something or take action. Right. So that's where, and
most people who read those posts are people who have hung out here before or people who know me.
Yeah.
And so,
and it's okay dropping those in, right? Like it's okay writing something that you feel like you need to share deeply, knowing that it's not necessarily going to be something that's going to go viral on Instagram or social media or anything. It's okay to still write that stuff for you, but you intersperse that with like very intentional, very strategic content for other reasons as well. Right? So yeah, so we do that. Or you keep these stories for like launching, or like telling your story when you're trying to launch a new program and you're sharing why you developed this program. And so they need to know your story. Like, we use that as like a story arc. So there's lots of ways that we can use this copy. Keep a copy of it, put it in a Google document somewhere, but then kind of look at your about page a little bit differently. Makes sense? Okay. Now let's talk about the blog. So the blog.
Okay.
Let's talk right now. No, and I love, because I was looking at these and I'm like, these are actually really good. Like, I can tell you've been doing some investigation of like how to get things found on Pinterest, and because like that's a very like 2 top secret DIY recipes using only 5 ingredients to naturally clean your home. Like that's enticing. Like, that's one of those things where you're just like, even if I already know natural recipes for my home, I'm like, oh, but what are her 2 top secret recipes? Like, I need to know that, right?
Okay, and so your one thing is transparency, and my one thing is transparency, but my second thing is simplicity. Because I really hate how complex the essential oil industry world is. Yeah. Because I had to do so much research and so much testing, so much trying. And you know what? You really only do need 2 recipes. I have an entire green cleaning natural ebook. You don't need it. I say that in the very first page. You really only need these 2 recipes. Awesome. Like,
yeah. But imagine how freeing that is. Like, that's your differentiation between you and everyone else in the industry. Is you're like, everyone else is just like vomiting all the information on you, and you're like, you actually only need these 2. Like, how simple does that feel? And how much calmer is your ideal client going to feel? and they're going to feel a breath of, exhale, calm when they come to your website versus like all these other ones that make it seem really confusing. So when it comes to making your blog content, you are in a really good start here. Like I do very much like that. The only thing up here was in the blog is I know that you split it into some catalogs, which is awesome. Now, again,
I was actually thinking about removing them and just having the blog.
So what you could do is you could do like on my website, because again, I have so much content that if you're just starting out and you only have 5 blog posts, yeah, you could just have them all on one page. That's no problem. But for people like us who do have quite a bit of content.
Yeah, you have yours divided by categories, right?
So when you click on blog, this actually doesn't take you to my actual blog page. So it doesn't take you to the page that Squarespace would say is like your blog. I created a page that is called blog, and I've created a landing page for my blog content. So on here, you could do like me where it's like, I just put a little interesting heading or something up here, but I do have categories, and all that I've done is I've gone into the blog post, chosen, because you can go in and create categories and tags within blog posts in Squarespace. Yeah. So I've created like 5 buckets. So I make my blog posts are all split into 5 of these topics: creating income, marketing and branding, systems and skills. I put them in there. So every time I write a blog post, I add whatever category it is, and it automatically gets updated. Whatever my latest blog post will get added to whatever category it falls under, because this is called a summary carousel. So I just set it to that business blog, and so it will automatically update anytime new content is added.
Right. Okay. Got it. Mm-hmm.
So this is, you could create an actual landing page for your blog. So there wouldn't be a drop-down folder. It would just say the blog, and you click on it. And then the landing page is just going to be like, welcome to the happiness blog. And then you could be like, just like on your homepage where you have here, where there's like, you could just make images like this, where it's like, these are the 4 images or the 4 categories. And you could do it as simple as that. So when you're creating your blog content, think of it as this way. There are 2 buckets. The one bucket is the person visiting doesn't even know they have a problem. So for instance, the problem is, and I'm just going to stop sharing here. So the problem might be that they don't know why using a regular lotion from the grocery store with, toxic chemicals and parabens, like, why is that a problem? They don't know that that's even a problem. So that, in terms of that bucket, the education you'd be providing is educating them on the general background that they need to know of what are when they're reading their labels. Like, did you know that it's not necessarily, in Europe, it's more regulated than it is here in North America, but you'd be like, here are some ingredients that you want to keep your eye out for, parabens, you have, like, what are some of the other ones, all those, all the ones that you don't want, artificial, the F word, all those things. So in that case, the education you're providing is that they didn't know they had a problem. So then after they're done reading your blog post, they then know they have a problem, but they don't know what the solution is. So the other buckets that you have are, they know they have a problem, but they're looking for the actual solution to the problem.
Homemade lotion.
Yeah. So that could be even the content upgrade in the blog post, or it could be like, once you've written that other blog post, want part 2 of this series, click here to learn how to make your own lotion. That is only 5 ingredients and totally chemical free. Like, totally.
So I've actually been building posts based in 2 buckets in one.
Okay.
So if you see the 2 recipes you need, I started thinking about new people coming to my site, and I'm like, okay, here is why you need to, 1, make your own cleaners, and 2, use essential oils to clean with, and then here are the 2 recipes. Yeah. So are you saying technically that I should have done a whole post about the dangers of toxic chemicals and why you can use essential oils, and then another post with the recipes?
Yeah, because think of this one right here. If she is searching for something like green cleaning recipes on Pinterest, she already is looking for green cleaning recipes and knows that she wants green cleaning recipes. So she doesn't need to necessarily read the whole background about that. But there are women, so just take that blog and just literally copy, cut that one and make a new blog. Now you got 2 blog posts at one. Awesome.
Okay.
So think about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two buckets.
So this one right here, so like natural ways to boost your immune system. This one is for the person that knows that they can boost their immune system naturally. The other person that is totally at the beginning of their journey is like, you can boost your immune system naturally. They don't even know that, right? So it's a way of looking at whenever you're going to be creating content. Just think of like, what is that person? Are they getting what they expected when they clicked on this Pinterest pin? So we don't want to waste it, because people from Pinterest, like, they want that information and they want it fast. So they don't want to read through the whole thing at the beginning of what they're like, I already know that. Like, just give me the damn recipe. But you do still want to explain. You can explain.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Like,
wait. Then here's my question. Something like this anxiety post. Mm-hmm. So that means I would have a whole post about, say, so this has my story woven into it.
Yep.
And the difference between anxiety and a heart attack.
Yeah.
No, it sounds funny. The difference between anxiety.
Okay,
you understand.
Wanted to go to the hospital. Like, I think I'm having a heart attack, and they're like, you are not. You are having a panic attack. And I'm like, but I feel like I'm dying of a heart attack. And they're like, you're not. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it talks about that, and then it talks about essential oils and tools, or natural tools and essential oils that you can use to help as much as they can in challenging times, or so technically I should have written my post about anxiety,
yes,
and then written a post about natural tools and supplements you can use.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the actual pin could be like, what does anxiety feel like? A panic attack versus a heart attack, or something like that, right? Yeah, okay. Like, because there are going to be people that are searching that they're like, they don't even know.
Dying?
Like, the first time I had a panic attack, I didn't know what it was. Same as the first time I had a migraine. I was like, oh my God, am I having an aneurysm? My brain feels like it's going to blow up. Yeah, and it's like, no, you had what's called a migraine. I was like, that's a migraine? Like, I thought they were just headaches. So this is where you have one post in here that is on what is anxiety, what does it feel like, and some ways to tell that you have it.
This also means that every single post can have a call to action to another post.
Yes. Or instead of having a second post, you do that as a content upgrade, like all of my blog posts. So down here, you're talking about anxiety. What does it feel like? Some of the common signs, anxiety versus heart attack. Like, this is awesome. Then you say, if you want, you put a little sentence that's like, I've worked really hard over the years to develop tools to be able to support my own anxiety, when it gets overwhelming. I've created an amazing little 1-page PDF with my top 9 ways, because you have 9 ways here.
A call to action with an email grab.
Yes, that's where you want the email grab, right in there, because they're on there and they're going, oh my God, I'm not having a heart attack. I have anxiety. And then they're like, well, now what do I do? Now I have anxiety. Now they have anxiety about having anxiety because they don't know what to do about their anxiety. So then you go, I have a solution for you right here. Just give me your name and email, and you start them off with something really simple. And it needs to be in proportion to the issue you're solving, because a person who has anxiety is not capable of digesting a shit ton of information. This right
especially
here,
in the moment when they're
this
anxious.
This right here could be the content upgrade.
Got it.
One page. They're just like, oh my God, 1 page, and you're going to give me like what? And then you could have links, because in Canva you can create like clickable sections, right? So clean the clutter or healthy or whatever. You're just like, click here for my favorite recipes. And then it clicks there and it takes them to the category, the blog, categories that you have, because you have blogs with food and drink recipes that are all healthy and will support it. Like, you're using the content you have to weave it all together.
When will this video be available?
I need to upload it right now to YouTube, and I'll send it to you, because I'm going to
send it to me, because I need to dive into this tomorrow.
Yeah, and then after that, like, this right here is an entire blog post right here. The essential oils. Yeah, not just that writing there, but you then take that and you expand on those. And then the blog post is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 essential oils and then the lifelong vitality supplements. So 6 essential oils that will help reduce your anxious feelings. Because again, we want to keep it compliant, right? We can't say reduce your anxiety.
Thank you for acknowledging
6 essential oils that will reduce your anxious feelings within minutes. If I'm on Pinterest and I see that and I'm have anxiety, I'm just gonna be like, what? First of all, can essential oils help with that? And it helps within minutes. Like, that's very attention grabbing. So then you go and you just expand. Like, you take this section, you turn that into a blog post, and then at the bottom of it is maybe you record, if you have an essential oils and anxious feelings webinar that you did, which at the end of that
I do.
Then you take that, because that content's just sitting there doing nothing. You take that, and that's the content upgrade on the bottom of that blog post.
Wow, mind blown.
There you go. So that you're taking advantage of all these done for you things that you've done over the years, and you're making them work for you in a passive way.
Like I said to you before, I actually don't know how to blog. I'm right actually to heal my own traumas.
And there's absolutely a place to do that. And do that when you need to do it. Absolutely. And that's a lot of the stuff that I share on Instagram, actually, because I find that that's the place where, like, I don't care if it's searchable. I don't care if it's search engine optimized. I don't care if I make a pin for it. I'm just going to share it somewhere. And I'm almost treating that like, if I were to die tomorrow, my son could look at my Instagram account and know who I was. In a weird way that sounds horribly devastating, but he would at least start to understand a little bit more about me, that he will understand it when he's an adult.
I just started crafting my Instagram post to be more like that, because as I said before, Instagram was just a place for me to see other people and for me. But now I have more of a voice, and I'm more willing to share that voice. And I really think about what I want to put out. Now I'm very strategic about what I put out there, because I'm not just going to put a smiley photo and have one hashtag. I'm like, what do I want to write about today?
And I sit here because I think you're very similar to me in that my outlet is my writing. I can express things through writing that I can't verbally, and I can't in any other medium. I'm just a writer. I am. And I've started to learn, though, that my blog, I've started to be able to separate my business from myself.
And that's where I have to go.
Yeah. And it's okay. You'll get there. And that's absolutely fine to use it the way that you've been doing it. Hey, start a second free Squarespace site. You get a free, you don't need to actually pay for a domain, and write on that and share that if you want to, for very, very, very personal things. But you'll get to a point where your blog is like, if I'm going to spend 5 hours really making sure this is like search engine optimized and the pin looks pretty for Pinterest, and like I have a content upgrade, it becomes much more business-like. And it becomes much more like, if I'm going to spend the time doing that, I want to make sure it teaches them something. And not that there's not educational value in like sharing yourself. And it's just a different type of content. And
I'm excited to be moving in that direction, though. I'm excited to treat my blog like a business, and to really, I really, really want to redefine my message and head in a very different.
You're always redefining your message, right? You're going to look back a year from now and be like, ooh, like I'm that next step further, and I've evolved, and now I get to go in and like just tweak that little about page a little bit. And, like, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited. I already have a base. Like I have a base, and I'm not afraid to delete stuff. I have, I'm like, delete. I don't care. Not clickable. Oh,
and you don't need to delete it. You don't need to delete it. You can just put them, like all those blog posts,
unlink,
you can just put them to drafts.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you just put them to drafts, or you move that content down to unlinked. At some point you can actually delete it, but move the copy itself into a Google Doc or somewhere. You never know. I learned the hard way. I deleted stuff from like business, like on my Dropbox, where I store everything, and I deleted a whole bunch of stuff. And then I'm like, this year, I'm like, where is that thing from 10 years ago that I never thought I would ever want to see again? And I'm like, damn it, I deleted it. And like, that would have been really, it's like a little time capsule.
Yeah.
right? Like, don't.
Well, I had 2 websites before that were truly just blogs, and I just wiped them clean. And then I'm like, where is that poem I wrote,
No.
sitting on the floor of the bathroom? And it's, I'm like, oh shit, I put it on the blog and then deleted everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
there's a time and a place for that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just need to do that. But yeah, when it comes to like written material, I think
now we're getting smarter. We're getting smarter.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, so my Pages documents are like crazy.
Well, I hope this was helpful.
This was very helpful. I can't wait to get the videos so I can break this down into, one piece at a time and really redefine it. First, I'm going to start with my header bar, obviously.
Yeah. And I think that index, like knowing that you can do an index page now, you're just like, the possibilities.
If I took anything from this, I took that. I
know. I'm so excited. I just love showing people, and I'm just like, you didn't know that. I'm so excited. I get to be the person to teach you this.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that. I love that part. Well, I'm just going to stop recording now. I hope everyone else found this helpful. So we'll see you next time, guys.